Okay, in this video we're going to be looking at multiplying mixed number fractions. So finding mixed number fractions of mixed number fractions. Okay, so this of, remember that of means times. Okay, so whenever we see of something, we're timesing in maths. Okay, now the first step we need to do when we're looking at these questions, when we've got something like 2 and a whole number and a half and a fraction, so 2 1/4 times 3 1/3, we need to first turn them into improper fractions. So we need to use our timeless strategy, where we times then plus. And our timesless strategy works like this, where we start at the denominator of our fraction, we times it by our whole number, and then we add, that's just an arrow there, we add the numerator. So for this first question, we've got 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. And we finish with fourths because we've started with fourths, so we're going to finish with fourths. We always keep our types of fractions the same, okay? And we'll do this one here, 3 times 3, so we're timesing, and then we're plussing, timeless. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. And now that we've basically got our fractions into improper fractions, we just need to times them. So we can just times the numerators and then times the denominators. So we would get 90 divided by 12. However, we can make it a bit more simpler and look for and pull out factors. And in fact, we really want to pull out the highest common factor. And we look for the highest common factor amongst the numbers at the top against the numbers on the bottom. So in other words, I can look at the 9 and the 3 and see if I can find a highest common factor of 9 and 3. And if I know my factors of 9 and 3 in my head, I might not do this. At the working I've got here. But if you don't, you might just want to list them to see if you can find it, but you might already know it. So in this case, the highest common factor of 9 and 3 is 3. So all we're simply going to do is ask the question, how many times does 3, our factor, go into this number and this number only? Okay, you can only find the highest common factor of a number from the top row and a number from the bottom row. You can't find factors against each other here. They always have to be one on the top and one on the bottom. So ask the question, how many times does 3 go into 3? Well, 3 goes into 3 once. So we simply change this 3 into a 1. And then we ask, how many times does 3 go into 9? And we know it goes 3 times. So we can change our 9 to a 3. Okay? Then we look at the other numbers that are left, maybe the 10 and the 4 here. Remember, 1 on top and 1 on the bottom, that's where we're looking for the highest common factors. And we might list them. You might know what the highest common factor is. And even if you don't, you can make a list. The common factors of 10 are these numbers, and the factors of 4 are 2 and 4. And I can see that the factors of 10 and 4 are these numbers, and the common factor is 2. And I might already know that. So I ask, how many times does 2 go into 10? I can say 5 times. And how many times does 2 go into 4? And I can say 2 times. All right? Then I can write my new numbers. So instead of 9/4, I've now got 3/2. And instead of 10/3, I've now got 5 wholes. And this will give me the exact same answer as if I just multiplied them straight out without doing this factorization, as we call it. but it's helping us deal with smaller numbers than the bigger numbers. So then we just do our multiplication normally. 3 times 5 is 15, and 2 times 1 is 2. So I have 15 halves, which will give me also a mixed number. We're not finished quite yet. We need to find the mixed number fraction of these. So we go 2 into 15 goes 7 times with 1/2, or 1 remainder, so it becomes 1/2. And that would be our correct answer. And boys, we need to show our working for these questions, so make sure you show all of those steps. Okay, let's look at this one over here. Sometimes we might have more than one fraction in a number sentence, and you might need to work these out. So again, we turn these fractions into mixed number fractions using our time-loss strategy. I won't write in the red of what I'm doing. You should know what you're doing now. So 5 times 5 is 25, plus 1 is 26. So 5 and 1/5 becomes 26 fifths. And then 3 and 2/3 becomes 3 times 3 is 9, and 2 is 11. And I can leave that as 3/4. Okay? Now again, I look for numbers where I can find this highest common factor. So I have to find a number on the top and think, does it have common factors to the numbers on the bottom? And then I can multiply. I've found one pair. 26 and 4 have a common factor. Do you think you know what it is? It should be a 2. So I can say 2 goes into 4 twice, so I can put a 2 there. And 2 goes into 26 13 times. So I can cross out my 26 and put a 13 there. I can see if I can find any other common factors or numbers with common factors. 11 and 5, well, they don't really have common factors, but 3 and 3 do. The highest common factor of 3 and 3 is 3, sorry. So you ask the question, does 3 go into 3? Yes. How many times? Once. And 3 goes into this 3 once as well. So now I rewrite what I've got. Boys, you must show your working. It also makes things clearer for yourself. We've factorised, and now the multiplication will be a bit easier. So I go 13 times 11, and you might not know that off by heart, so you might do a little sum. 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 1 is 1, put down the 0, 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 1 is 1, so my answer is going to be 143. So 143 over 5 times 1 is 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, so I'm going to have tenths. My answer is going to be in so many tenths. I can go 10 goes into 143 14 times with 3 tenths left over. So that's pretty straightforward to do. So don't be afraid, boys, when you see more than one fraction in your question, you can still work them out. So simple procedure. We go first step, find improper fractions for what we've got for multiplication, and then we factorise or look for the highest common factors to cancel down, and then we can multiply very easily. Make sure our answer is always as a mixed number fraction. That's it.